Guys, I don't know if you know, but Noia is live right now. The server is up and people are playing and grouping up right now to take on dungeons together. You can go play right now in your browser or on Windows and Linux and Android devices. All of the clients are available for free to download at the itch.io link in the description. So tell all your friends, hop in game, and kill some monsters. Anyway, on to the video. So you all asked for this. You wanted the game to be more challenging, so I cannot be held accountable for what happens next. Okay, maybe a little. Hello everyone and welcome back to Noia Dev, the series that aims to prove that one developer can create a successful MMO RPG. My name is Dane and this week on Noia Dev we're talking about difficulty balance. So let's get right into this. I have spent a lot of time over the last few days in this spreadsheet here. This sheet is the gear progression spreadsheet for Noia. Basically, there's a bunch of various additions and multipliers that all combine with player level to give me an idea for how strong a player should be at a specific level. And then I can plan gear progression and stats accordingly. Messing with these multipliers here on the first row will affect all the other various cells here and alter how gear stats should be spread out. And at the end of all of this is a graph that shows how much damage a player should be doing at or around that level. So here's an example for how this works. At level 10, I want a player to have roughly 42 points in their primary stat. When I say primary stat, for swords, that's strength, bows use dex, wands use int, staves use whiz. So at level 10, I need to make sure that the player has at least 42 points in that stat. So a player gets one stat point for every character level that they can assign to whatever stat they want, and they also get 1 point of primary stat for every weapon level. So if a character puts all their points into strength and is using the sword as they're leveling up, they should have 20 of their primary stat at level 10. So simply by leveling up, we're nearly halfway to the stat goal. The rest of the stats required will be found on equipment. So you can see here that these cells dictate how much of that stat goal should be found on each piece of armor. Chest pieces should equate to roughly 10% of that stat goal. So a chest piece at level 10 should have +4 primary stat on it. And each of the other armor pieces have similar rules. The same applies for secondary stat and weapon stats. So I spent a lot of time over the last week messing with all of these various multipliers till I got this line graph looking somewhat sensible. So there wasn't any giant leaps in power at low levels. You can see there are a few spikes and those are expected at those points where powerful pieces of gear become available to the player, such as jewelry accessories and the charm accessory. Both of those add significant stat and attack improvements when equipped, so a power spike at those levels is to be expected. So now that I have player attack all charted out, I should know how strong a player should be at any given level. So that means I know how strong monsters need to be as well. And that's what this area of the chart is. I took what the player's damage should be at that given level and added a multiplier to it to get a rough approximation to what the average player's DPS should be at that level. And then I plan monster HP around that. All of this is to plan out how long a fight should be between a monster and a player. A normal average one-on-one fight between a player and a normal monster of similar level should be around 5 to 10 seconds, where a major boss fight should last a few minutes. Granted, there's a lot more to a fight than just DPS and monster HP. No fight will just see two opposing sides beating each other in the head till the other falls over. So fight times will vary wildly from encounter to encounter, but this chart at least shows what I'm aiming for. After spending a few days tinkering with these values, I got them to a point where I think the player damage output was scaling properly. So now it was time for me to go and update all of the monster HP values in the game. This was also a good opportunity to update all of the monster prefabs as well. You see, in Unity you can create these pre-made objects called prefabs, but what you can also do is create a copy of a prefab and call it a prefab variant. Any change made to the parent prefab will affect the variants as well. This is good for when I want to make a change to all monsters at the same time. Unfortunately for me, most of the monster spawns here were not variants of the original monster prefab, so anytime I wanted to make a change, I had to go to every single monster individually. So I took this opportunity to update all of these monster prefabs to be prefab variants, and this will actually streamline future changes to monster objects. While I have updated all of the monster HP values now to be in line with the spreadsheet, as of writing this script, I haven't updated their damage output yet. So monsters will be harder to kill, but as of right now, they probably don't hit as hard as you'd expect. Look forward to that in a future devlog. But my plan is, if it takes players 5 to 10 seconds to kill a normal monster, I'm planning normal monsters to take roughly 20 to 30 seconds to kill a player. Meaning if you stood still and let a normal monster wail on you for 30 seconds, you should be dead. This player death time is about average from all the various MMOs that I've played in my younger days, so that's the plan. There's no instruction manual for balancing an MMO, so I'm coming up with this all as I go, and I'm only one person, so hopefully my math isn't too far from optimal. I am urging all of you who play Noia to please keep an open mind, and if gameplay feels off, remember to offer feedback over aggression. And to be perfectly honest here, the Discord server is a much better place to offer that feedback than these YouTube comments. I don't care if the algorithm will hate me or not for saying this. The YouTube comment section is a terrible place to try and hold a conversation. So if you want to let me know your thoughts, you should join the Noia Discord server, link in the description. But if you want the algorithm to get the name of Noia out there, a comment would be nice. Or a subscription. It's not a bad idea either. Okay, enough about numbers. I have gotten a few enemies added to the mind map, a few spiders, a few bats. There's a large spider enemy in the works by our own Netherfang. It is looking amazing, by the way. Not sure what sort of drops it'll have just yet, but now that I have spiders to drop spider silk, I have everything in place for new armor recipes. So I need to create those new armor recipes so you guys don't die as fast. So with all of this, I wanted to tell you guys that I'm going to be pulling back on creating new maps and instead focus on polishing what I have so far. There is a small pile of backlog bugs that I need to fix. There are a few UI windows that still aren't using the proper sprites, and I want to create some more tutorials to help out the new players. And if possible, even adding some voice-acted lines to the various cutscenes. As of now, I think there are about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay in the game, which I think is a pretty good start. So look forward to what is in the game now to get a lot better in the future. And that's it for this week. I'm really looking forward to polishing up what is in the game right now to make Noia the best game that it can be for all of you guys to playtest. I've got a small mountain of things that need to be fixed, so I gotta get back to work. I'll see you next time. Bye.